Hello, welcome back to Lunar Galas podcast episode 3.
Today we're talking all things dark.
And spooky.
Shadowy.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a surprise.
Yes. Please.
I've been pondering, why do we like to focus on the shadow and the darkness so much?
That is definitely... What are you doing?
I was trying to turn the paper without it rustling.
That was the most dramatic page turn I've ever seen in my life.
I have notes today and I was trying not to rustle my paper.
Because our mic is so sensitive.
It's so sensitive.
Anyway.
Our events on the darker side of whimsy. Why do we lean into the shadowy, eerie, unsettling?
Yes, so I think for each of us it might be slightly different reasons, but also some similarities. I think one of the reasons is it's probably a nature and nurture thing.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
So part of it is inherently in some people to be drawn to the darker stories, and like, for example, when you were young you said you had a crush on Edward Scissorhands, meanwhile all the other girls had a crush on who's the guy in like Princess Diaries. I don't know.
What? Yeah, first crush was Edward Scissorhands.
Mine was Jonathan Taylor Thomas from Home Improvement.
It's not junk, it's heavy metal.
Mine was also, and then it was, this is so weird, but I really liked Beetlejuice too.
It's showtime.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I was like, Beetlejuice.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah. Now I'm like, what
sure.
was wrong with me?
Like, why do we like the darker stories, which is what we were getting at. A big one for me is because there's a purity in it, and there's no deception. It is what it is, and it's not lying about what it is. Where often people who, or things, or portray themselves as good and light. Sorry, I'm getting a million texts and it's bothering me. I'm not playing Dead by Daylight tonight. Anyway.
We're talking about it.
We're talking about being dead at daylight. Hold on. Liquid Death, not a sponsor.
Squeezed
to death. Not a sponsor. Okay. Like we have any. Oh yeah. That there is like a purity and realness and rawness, and you know what you're getting. So part of it for me is being raised in a high demand religion, and there were a lot of things that weren't upfront and honest that I found out later, and I felt lied to, and I have serious trust issues. So part of it is that for me. So I mean, there's a bunch of other reasons.
No, yeah, I agree 100% on the high demand religion thing. With everything was really presented as perfect and pure and light and good, and we were really taught to distrust anything that may be dark and shadowy.
I believe that Satan has a hold of you.
I feel like with our religion that we grew up in, everything was a deception, just even past the whole premise of the religion. Many people that you encounter in the religion are deceptive underneath this sheen of light, goodness,
and
purity. And in that religion, you're taught to suppress anything that might be what would be considered a dark thought or darkness. Like you're taught to suppress all of that, as well as like your own intuition.
And the natural man, which often is just being a human being. This kind of goes into shadow work because people push away parts of themselves, and they're ashamed of parts of themselves, or told that those things are bad, and by suppressing that and pushing it away your whole life, it metastasizes, or what's the word? It like festers and
Yeah.
can turn into something way worse than it would have been if you just found a natural balance and love and acceptance.
Oh, he just purred right into the mic.
I think that, we're going to be using the word darkness a lot.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Because that's just a broad way of defining what we're talking about, which is complex and multifaceted here. But I think darkness isn't just, bad. I think it's a teacher, a boundary setter, and a catalyst for growth. But it also can be fun and exploratory, and you can learn more about yourself. And it's an important part of life that should not be completely shut out.
I agree, and I feel like darkness is where you can learn and heal. It's powerful, it's beautiful, and I feel like it doesn't mean evil or bad. Like, culturally and in many religions, it is made out to be evil or bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is something that, as we've both left Mormon Church, our worldviews have had to be completely obliterated. I'm like, disintegrated. Your whole worldview from birth, if you were born into the religion, on, it has to be completely rebuilt. It just falls apart completely. And part of that is reassessing what darkness means and what it actually is.
That's really well put. One thing I've realized after coming out of Mormonism, let's just say it, finding who I am. And that also comes with motherhood and having a lot of kids close together. 4 kids in 5 years, and including twins, and then kind of losing myself and not really knowing who I was. I got married really young, age 18. So I feel like there's been this exploration as my kids are getting older and I'm figuring out who I am, and like there's things that I'm like, okay, I'm finally figuring out what I like to wear, how I like to decorate, what I like to watch, what I'm into. Part of what we're doing with Lunar Galas is exploring those themes through our events, but then also personally in our lives, exploring that through many different ways. So I was going to ask you, what are 3 of your favorite horror movies?
Ooh. Let me think. I'm really loving Hereditary. I love Talk to Me. Love Talk to Me.
Those are the 2 I was going to say.
And I love Nosferatu.
I am an appetite, nothing more.
Well,
And
you have all my
dang
answers.
it, sorry. Let's think. I'll think of some others.
It's okay.
I really did like that. What was it? Get Her Back. Is that the one is that what it was called?
Bring Her Back?
Bring Her Back.
Wait,
That's
what did
right.
you say?
Get Her Back.
What did you say after Hereditary?
Talk to Me.
Oh, okay. I was.
Yeah,
thinking
they're
you
by the
said-
same people.
Yes. Yeah. Bring Her Back and Hereditary are like my top 2, and the themes they explore in them are like very real. I think that is such a amazing way to show and explore like real family dynamics and situations through horror, and it's just so much more visceral and hits close to your heart. And there's so many things I figured out about myself through exploring the dark. Like, I've always kind of known that I've loved Gothic style architecture and decor, but I've never really fully thought it through, because it's always, let me think about what everyone else wants before I think about what does Vanessa want or like my whole life. And that's how I've been programmed. And thinking back to my sister who has passed away, she was very into like Gothic everything, but she showed me The Crow when I was younger, and we watched a lot of surreal movies together, and in her decoration she would have like candelabras and
Oh yeah.
and now that I'm getting older, those things are like coming back to me, and I'm like, I love this style and this vibe and this energy. There's like an energy that comes from it. And I notice other people have had that with other things, like Western style things or things that I'm not into, and they're just very much into that naturally. And I'm like, okay, I'm this type of person that I'm drawn to this area, this corner, this dark corner of the universe.
Aesthetic.
Yeah, this aesthetic.
Yeah, thing is, these are goth girls, so there might be a bit of a problem. Why? Well, you're gonna have to get a bit dark, like me. Like you're the least dark person I've ever met. You're like candy floss. You cut me open, I'm made of blackjacks.
You're fruit salad, Vince, everyone knows that.
It's not Vince, I've changed my name.
What?
Obsidian now.
I'll give you a recent example. What are we talking about? Phil Skarsgård, but in a subtle way. Well, besides the special effects makeup that I'm really into, there are moments in movies that are really effed up where how do I say this without sounding
I don't
like
know,
a
but I'm
psycho?
so excited to hear what you're gonna say.
Where there's just like, there's a scene in a show I really like called Hemlock Grove where, yes, the special effects makeup, I'm interested in how they do it, but also there's something very primal or visceral where like there's a scene where someone's imagining, there's vampires in it and stuff, so they're called Upir, and there's a scene where there's blood just going everywhere, like shooting everywhere all over this person, and I'm like enamored by it. But what is that? Why do some people see that and are probably like, ugh, like I don't want to look at that. But I'm like, whoa.
I don't know. But
I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to get to, but I'm sweating now.
well, here's what I just recently learned. I learned that some people, when they hear music that really resonates with them or see something that is aesthetically resonating with them, they get chills or tear up and cry.
Oh yeah, I do.
I do as well.
Yeah.
So, and it's called frisson.
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 Oh my gosh.
So maybe that is part of it.
A sudden, strong feeling of excitement or fear, a thrill. But sometimes the fear is a good fear.
And
so.
I had just barely, like, I haven't looked too deeply into this. It just something I just heard about yesterday, literally. So there had been a study where they'd observed or asked, I think it was a group of 20, and only 10, about 50% had a physical reaction to seeing or hearing something that was visually or auditorily appealing or resonating with them in some way. And it made me feel better because I cry in most movies. Like, I don't know why my eyes are watering. Today I was reading Court of Thorns and Roses. Roses and Thorns. What is it? Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yelling at you.
Thorns and Roses. Court of Thorns and Roses. And there was just a part where she's talking about painting. And I was like, oh, feel those emotions. And like tear up. I'm like, I don't even paint.
I think you're an empath. You can put yourself in other people's, which is interesting because we do feel things so deeply.
On our lighter-sided events, like Through the Fairy Ring is a pretty whimsical and light event. We still also bring in some of that darkness. We do some of the shadow work, guided meditations, journaling.
Yeah, we specifically talked about how fae are not what the modern Western interpretation has shown. There's a dark side and a light side to fae, and so we really highlighted that at our Into the Fairy Ring event, and also brought that into each person, like, there are multiple sides to you, and explore all the parts of yourself so that you can understand yourself better and have more balance in your life. And so we do a lot of healing through meditation and activities and talking, and Kate makes essential oils.
Oh yeah, because leaving the church is, as I said, a complete reordering of your worldview, and also realizing how much of my own person I had lost. Realizing that, wow, I don't know who I am or what I even like at all anymore.
Yeah.
And trying to relearn who I am. Like, I feel like I had a pretty good idea in high school who I was.
Yes.
And then there was a decade or so of just really trying my best to do everything right according to the religion. And then once I left, it was quite the shock to realize that I didn't like anything that I thought I did.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, there's so many things. That's a great point. Oh, sorry, I'll let you keep
No.
going, but there's so many things I look back on 5-10 years ago that I was doing or did, and I'm like, why was I doing those things? And it was almost like I can see how immature I was. I'm like this child trying to explore and figure myself out, but it's just really cringy and it's not even stuff I'm interested in. For example, when you are a stay-at-home mom, there is a sense of, I'm sorry, but maybe not for everyone, I felt trapped and I had no way of contributing to any finances. I just felt trapped, and we didn't have a lot of money at the time. And I was just trying to figure out a way to make money at home. And so I was making these necklaces that are like so Mormon looking and so hideous and so not my style.
I didn't know this.
I would like twist these fabric. I was I was touching on something I liked, but I couldn't quite figure it out because it was like roses, and I do love floral pattern on fabric and stuff. I do love floral print and roses in like a gothic dark aesthetic, but
really moody colored.
Yeah. But this was fabric that I was twisting into roses and like gluing them on these hideous chains.
Statement necklaces.
Yeah, like the big necklaces that the people would wear in Relief Society. And I would just take a picture of like my chest because I didn't want my face in it, which also like I was not thinking. I'm like, here's a picture of my chest and the necklace. Look at this. And I would post it on Facebook, $15 or what, I don't know, $10.
I didn't know you made those necklaces.
I was always being entrepreneur, like, I'm making things, I'm doing things. I did the It Works wraps.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was also because I had no confidence in my body after having twins, and I was like so stretched out, full-term twins. So that was like me desperately trying to tighten all the loose skin, which is impossible for the most part, like once it's stretched out. And also I have a connective tissue disorder that I didn't know at the time, which is why it stretches so much. But anyway, I was just thinking back about going through all those times when you're younger and you're doing all these things that aren't even who you are, or you're doing things that you don't even really like because you don't know who you are and you can't figure it out.
You don't have time to figure it out.
You're so
As a young
tired.
mom,
with
having multiple children in a short span of time and trying to do all the things you're supposed to do as we were trad wives, basically.
Yeah. There's just like this hole you're never filling because you're so tired, and often you don't have any help from anyone and you're just doing it alone. And my heart goes out to all of you, if any of you moms are listening, because it's
a hard time.
Such a hard time. It's so hard. So, yeah, I'm gonna get real emotional about that.
Yeah. Glad to be through it so far.
Yeah.
At least, we're through it.
Like,
well, I don't know. Stop yourself. What are you talking about? You're through this. You're done. My youngest is 6. We are done. We are through the really hard, young age.
Yeah,
and I'm
super dependent.
So glad to be done with it.
Oh, yeah. I'm loving my kids' ages. My youngest is 10, almost 11. Oh my gosh, I gotta plan a birthday party. Oh, shoot. Okay. just remembered it's in September, so.
It
Okay.
is coming up. Yeah.
It's probably gonna be no surprise. My kids are very much into horror, and so is my husband. Like, I would say my husband is even more than me, definitely.
Yeah.
And he was reading Stephen King when he was really young, and Edgar Allan Poe, and all the stuff that I wasn't into at all at that age. Like, I was just playing soccer, and I think mine manifested in a different way at a younger age. Not so much horror novels and movies. It was more like the music I was into, the more edgy emo stuff when I was younger. Like, that was my way of rebelling and finding a way out. And even now, like, I love death metal and some other types of metal, but I really love visceral, like, real guttural hardcore shit, I guess.
I feel like it's a way to, especially with that kind of music, I feel like it allows you to feel the rage that you might have bottled up inside.
Yeah,
Some of
I
the
think
emotions. Maybe not rage, but...
There's like, because it's not always, when I'm listening to it, I'm not feeling angry. Yes, there's sometimes I'll put it on when I'm angry, but it's more like there is this something deep down inside that it taps into that's very real.
Primal.
And I get chills, especially, some of it has to do with, so they're called harsh vocals, people just call it screaming, but there's a very specific skill to it. You have to be very careful not to hurt your vocal cords. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just exerting and making sound. So the band I like a lot, he can make sounds that most people can't, and he can contort his throat in different ways that, for me, it is not having a voice for so long. Hear someone be able to control this very distinct voice. Like, I'm getting hot and sweaty thinking about it. Like, in a way, like, I'm releasing energy. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so cool. Way to really say exactly what you want to say. And I have the hardest time with my voice and speaking and saying how I feel, and I'm working at that. But that's when I hear it, it's kind of like tapping deep down into this suppressed thing inside of me. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I always had a little bit of a darkness. Like, I did like the horror that I was allowed to watch as a child. My parents were really strict with what we were allowed to watch, and I feel like I didn't really tap into the horror stuff until, like, I always loved horror, but it was always like around Halloween. And it was about 5 or 6 years ago that it just, the desire to watch the spooky things didn't go away. After Halloween, I just kind of was like, I want to read another scary horror movie or book or watch another movie, and it just hasn't stopped. I used to read primarily only fantasy, and now, like, I still love fantasy, but right now horror is my favorite genre.
Yeah.
And any documentary, Eric, my husband, he's like, he'll come up and I'm watching some documentary and he's like, what are you watching? What horror is this now? It's like, I'm sorry.
What are your favorite dark archetypes? This could be monsters or genres of horror.
My favorite types of genres of horror are the supernatural, ghost.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that
you like
kind
ghost
of. Yeah,
stories.
I love ghost stories. Horror just is so, it just draws you in and it holds you there and you can't look away, but you're also like it's fun and it's exciting. I feel like it's the same as going on a roller coaster. Like, some people hate roller coasters. They absolutely, Eric, my husband, hates roller coasters. He does not want to go on them, and I love roller coasters.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like it taps into a similar part of your brain. I don't know,
like,
but it's
this dangerous part, but you know you're safe.
Yes,
so you're exploring danger in a safe way.
Like, would I want to be a part of these horror novels or horror movies? No, I don't
Yeah.
actually want to be living where I'm watching the Conjuring movies right now because the final Conjuring movie's coming out, so I'm rewatching them all. Would I actually want to experience Annabelle like out in the wild? No, I'm good. No thanks. I don't want to be haunted by a demon doll, but I like to watch it. But as for archetypes, I love like dark goddesses, like that power of a dark goddess, and the trickster type of archetype as well. Those are some of my favorites.
With the dark goddesses, some of the stories we have explored. Morgan, Persephone. There's a few different ones we've explored at our events when we've had a dark goddess event, but their stories are about descending into the darkness and then rising up, not above it, but being able to like live in both worlds. So that's kind of what we've been talking about, because it's not about staying there forever.
It's about finding the balance.
Yes.
And that was especially what we focused on a lot with Persephone's return in April. We talked a lot about the duality, about how Persephone is both the queen of the underworld and the goddess of spring. She is both death and life. And many goddesses are war goddesses while also being a goddess of rebirth and love, and they go hand in hand together. Like many goddesses from many different cultures have that duality. They're not just this perfect being that is pure and light. I saw this interesting, I think it was a TED Talk. It was a woman talking about how all of these enlightened religious leaders like Jesus and Confucius and the Buddha, all of the attributes and things that they teach are things that women were already doing. And so they're teaching the men to be more like women, and that women already have that and don't need to listen to that kind of stuff, because you shouldn't become more of that, because becoming more of that will
push you out of balance.
Yeah, push you out of balance and make you into a submissive doormat.
I was going to talk about how there is this resurgence of witchcraft, and it's definitely more of a divine feminine. Women are more interested in this practice because there is no central authority figure, which is usually a male. You have more autonomy inside of it. And that goes for astrology, and I don't know a lot about it, to be honest. I'm interested in it. I like the idea of power in nature and going back to our roots.
I think that for me, when I first left the church, I am sorry to bring it back to that, that was definitely the first thing, was finding my own power, because I'd always been taught that I was powerless, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so I think that the resurgence, I don't know if it's a resurgence, but the emergence of so many women going toward witchy things and astrology and tarot and anything like that is them reclaiming, and us reclaiming our power that has just been taken from us from birth.
Yes.
Like we didn't even know we had this power. And so it's learning to tap into your intuition and learn more about yourself.
Yes,
and have that power that is innate, because women were amazing.
Yes, we are.
We are.
I wanted to say this line that I have here to wrap up what we've been talking about. That's why shadow work, dark goddesses, the fae that unsettle, even horror, they don't scare me in the same way. They feel like truth. Darkness doesn't lie. It shows you what you don't want to see, but what's actually there. And there's a strange kind of beauty in that honesty. That's wrapping up my thoughts on why Lunar Galas explores the themes that we do, but also why Vanessa and Kate are drawn to the darkness, and why we're still exploring it and figuring out who we are. Well, I guess we'll wrap up with what we have coming up.
Yes, we have so much coming up. We've got Coffee Crawl.
Our next coffee and craft crawl. If you don't have a craft, don't come, because it's weird.
It's very weird when older men that we do not know show up and then sit there with no craft.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a craft and you're an old guy, I don't care. Yeah, come have a great time with us. That sounds fun.
Don't. It's very uncomfortable for us.
It feels predatory.
Yeah.
I don't like
and
it.
I'm not cutting this out.
So the 14th of September is our coffee crawl at Peace on Earth Coffee in Provo.
Yes. Provo, Utah. And then I just started reading Dracula today. So that is our next book club, and it's also one of my favorite books. And I was walking around, I'm listening to it on Audible, and they have famous actors and voice actors doing it, and Tim Curry is one of them.
Oh, okay.
And it's just,
he's so good.
It's well done. I'm loving it.
And that is on September 20th, the book club. And then we're having our movie club
Yes.
on October 4th, where we will watch the new Nosferatu.
Yes, which is my favorite movie. I'll
It's
say it on
very
every
good.
podcast.
My favorite movie is.
And I finished my robe. Insert
I'm so
footage
excited
here.
to see it. Yeah.
After that is
our
ball.
Our ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it fits right in with us. Like,
Yeah.
it's fantasy, it's fae, but it's
Dark.
aesthetic. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
That
Very
is
excited.
Winter Court, an Unseelie Fae Ball, December 13th in Pleasant Grove, Utah.
Yes, and tickets are on sale.
Anyway, thanks. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. And
Oh yeah, we're gonna be interviewing an author.
yeah,
one
we
of these
did
times.
read a book about the Unseelie Fae
Yes.
by a local author, so she will be on our next podcast. So look out for that.
See ya.
Goodbye. Okay.